Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Once again, we are taking a look at foundation. And once again, I'm taking a look at a foundation I had no intention of looking at until I saw somebody I follow do it. I have to remind myself, and I'm going to remind you at the same time. When you see people doing foundations, you really have to keep in mind what you're seeing is probably not really exactly what's going on, because many people actually film at night with lights, and even those who don't film at night have blackout curtains. They're using professional lights, and sometimes people have settings that we just don't know about. There's some people I've watched where every single foundation they've ever put on matches their skin, and I know that can't be real because I've never had that experience in my life. And I'm just saying, you know, hard to know. But I saw Alana Davison do the Urban Decay Hydromaniac a little while ago, and I was stunned when she put that on her face. First of all, it was a perfect match. I don't know why that impressed me, because she's not my match. I'm closer to Jamie Page than her, so I'm a little bit darker than Alana. But that just kind of did it. I thought it looked so pretty on her. I thought, oh, I'll give it a try. Now, let me tell you a little bit about it. There are 12 shades, not a whole lot. It's $29 for 1.1 fluid ounce. They're calling it a glowy tinted hydrator, which is interesting. I think a lot of people confuse the words hydrate with moisturize, and I understand why it can be confusing, but I don't think companies should do that. Hydrate is, has to do with water, and moisturize has to do with more emollient things like oils. Okay, point noted. That kind of bothers me that they call it that. 12 shades, $29. It's long wear. And they are noting two things in here. Marula oil, which is one of the heavier oils, making this not hydrating but moisturizing. And kombucha filtrate, which I've never heard anybody say kombucha filtrate is good for the skin. So sometimes I feel like people just throw stuff in for just to be different. I don't know. I got the shade Light 30. Now let's go on another tangent for me. When you go online and you look for shade matches, Sephora has this shade match thing, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's right, and sometimes it's really, really wrong. So it's not 100% reliable. So the next thing you do is you go to the swatches that the company provides, right? The swatches for this, the color that I really wanted to get was a light medium neutral, and that looks so dark. And the model they put with that color looked like Desi Perkins, who is probably 5 times, deeper than I am, and quite yellow. So I'm thinking, okay. So the swatches were telling me one thing, and the models they were using were telling me one thing. So I got the light. I think companies really need to do a better job. If you're going to hire a model, you're going to go through that trouble, make it the right model. So what I'm going to do is a brush. You could do your beauty blender, you could do your fingers. I don't know why. I'm going to do my brush. It is a squeezy tube, and this is really a lot of product. And I'm just starting with a little bit. And for my hand, this shade looks quite nice, but my hand is much lighter than my face. And I'm not going to dig this in. I'm just kind of going to move it like this and work it kind of into the brush, like so. And start in the middle where the redness is. And boom. Now I think this color is scented. I don't remember it saying there's perfume in here. It doesn't smell perfumey, but it's scented. And the birds are playing. So this color right here is the lightest area of my face. And I wish my entire face was that color, just one color. But I find that if I match a foundation to that, the overall look, especially if it's better coverage, is that it's too light for me. And this coverage, I'd say, is a solid medium. Depends on how you put it on. The way I'm putting it on, I might not get a medium out of it. I'm really going to pretend I'm in DOS and I'm a painter, just doing little strokes all over my face. And it matches with this area of my ear, which is also quite light. So this is quite a light coverage that I am doing. Anyway, if we can get right back to the colors, because I went on and on complaining, that's because I had tried this and I thought, this is super, super light. If you wear it sheer, it doesn't look that light. Actually, it looks pretty good. But not much coverage, you know what I mean? When you look this side with the foundation, this side without, not a huge difference. So let's just see how this builds. If it builds and looks weird, or if it builds and looks like, maybe I went a little too heavy with that. I kind of like this smell though. And it's worth noting, you guys, this feels a lot like the Shiseido Radiant Lifting. It feels a lot like it. So when I put on a lot, now you can see this is too light. I'm going to get some under the eyes. But I do feel that, one, my face is super shiny, and two, when you build with this, it doesn't look built. It doesn't look color-wise built. Sometimes I find when I build something, it just looks like I didn't work out my foundation. I didn't blend my foundation well. I don't think that's the story here. I'm not going to bring this down my neck very much because I'm wearing a brand new and very expensive turtleneck because I don't want to get foundation on. So there you go. Thinner on the forehead, built up over here. We'll see what it looks like when it's in my computer, if it looks as good as I think it does. So I'm going to do the other half, same way, and then we'll come back and put on some other products and see how it works. I'm turning this back on because I noticed that I'm getting brush strokes in certain areas, and then I just go with a lighter hand against those brush strokes and they are worked out. So, oh yeah, I see brush strokes right around here. I don't know if I can move in and show you that, but oh, that's crazy. I feel very, 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 very shiny. Now I want to compare something for you. I don't know which video is going up first, but I bought 2 or 3 more shades of the Shiseido in Radiant Lifting because I just liked it so much. And I also like the matte one, which is the self-refreshing, that I have in a horrible color, so I want to find a good match. And I put it all on my face, and then I took some off, and I did half and half of the whole bit. So you can see also, if you like this foundation or having a hard time, what might work for you. I want to compare the lightest shade I got in this, which is linen. So this here is linen and quartz. I'm pretty sure this is the linen. So there's linen in the Shiseido, and this is the 30 light. Just so you have an idea of what this color is like, because that's what it's all about, you guys. For me, I was thinking the linen's a little too light for me, so look at this, the 30 light of the Urban Decay. Little light, but I'm telling you, these feel so similar. It's kind of crazy. This is $47 and this is $29, and this is a little bit more product. If you like the Shiseido, but you don't want to spend as much money, and you're having a hard time finding the right shade because their undertones are a little strange, take a look at this. I do think it's possible. I am more shiny with this one though, which is kind of hard to believe. I'm going in with the Danessa Myrix again. I think maybe I was wrong about this, even though it looks so yellow. I think it works. So maybe it just works when I'm wearing something that's a little too light for me. This is not wet. It's a dry sponge. And be sure to get the hairline. Seems to be working very well together. I do find with this kind of formula, which is a little more emollient, quite glowy, a teeny bit even thick, the cream products work very, very nicely. As far as the undertone goes, I'd say this is smack neutral. It's not yellow, it's not gray, it's not olive, it's not pink, it's perfection. It would be with grave hesitance that I would go in with a powder blush with this, because this is sticky and wet, and I don't want to have to wash my brush. Really, that's what it comes down to. But I'm going into these Surats. Wish me luck. Well, it's going on without a problem. I'm using the lightest hand because I just feel this is such a wet foundation that I'm going to get it on my brush, move the foundation around, or even remove it. I'm taking a magnifying glass to take a look at what's going on in the brush. Not bad, actually. A little, but not bad. Okay, so powder blush can work. It does require a little finesse. I believe if I went in hard with that, it would be a problem. I am still feeling like I am a little bit too shiny. So there are three things I could do. I could go in with my By Terry powder, which is my favorite. I could go in with this by Chantecaille, which I stopped wearing because I do feel if you put it on something very shiny, this imparts color. And if the color's not right, you start looking at that area of your face. It becomes an obvious area. And I like to just bring it down here and here and here. But it might work in this particular case. Picks up nicely, even though this is such an interesting... Oh, you know what? The texture has changed on this. When I first got it, it felt really like a balm, but now it's beginning to feel like a powder. So maybe, just worth noting. I'm just going to really put the smallest bit here. I don't know, do you think that imparted a little bit of color? But it definitely took down the shine. It's still shiny, but it took down the shine. And then the other thing I really like is this Ray Morris Invisible Mattifier. Mine broke in shipping. It's supposed to all be here, but it was here, so I thought I'll just put my finger underneath it and plop it over like a pancake. It didn't work out so well. Same brush. Just kind of pat it, or you can do this. But where powders, I like to work powders into my brush and knock off excess so I get a little bit of powder on the face. With this, you don't really want to work it into the brush. This is a surface-to-surface transfer that you want to do. And this imparts no color. And again, without. It's not going to mattify completely, but it's going to take the shine down enough to make me happy. Okay, so I've done a cream product in the bronzer, I've done a powder product in the blush, and then I showed you two other powders to knock down with, and you know what, let's just do the By Terry too. And I just like to work powder into the brush and then knock off. So it's just a different kind of coverage. And I'll just do the chin with this. So I have three different ways to mattify here. And I find with the By Terry, it looks more matte in the immediate out of all three of them, but in a few minutes, that'll be over and it'll look the same. As far as degree of mattification goes, I feel like a science teacher. All right, this is going to be the look. I'm not doing a wear test because I just can't come back in hours. I don't have the right light for it. But I can tell you this, I made a mistake when I was doing my eyes, and I used a clean brush to blend right here, and then I thought, oh, I'm creasing, let me just use this brush, and all that color went all over. So I thought I'll just tap it with my foundation and take care of that, and that didn't work either. And so I thought, okay, I'm gonna have to take it off. It came off too easy. I mean, it came off really easy. Usually if I have to take off some foundation, which I don't do very often, it's a little bit of work, and oftentimes we'll have to do the micellar water. With this, not the case. So even though they're calling this long wear, I am truly wondering if this has issues adhering. So I'm going to do something that a lot of us do. I'm going to sit here and talk on the phone, or I'm working on the computer, and my nose is just because I have a dog. And let's see what happens. Actually, yeah, it's coming off. Like, I have a dog hair that's sticking to me, and I can't see it, but I feel it. I'm talking on the phone, blah, 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 blah. I can't tell you guys, but hopefully I've been able to get the camera down here so you can see. I can tell that it's on my hands though. So this is my hand that I didn't hold up to my face, and this is the hand that I did. Let's do it to the other side. This could be a new test, the hand test. Blah, 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 looking on the computer, I'm so bored, or I'm editing. Oh my God, this editing's killing me. And the face. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad, but I know it's coming off. So in my case, for instance, I'm wearing a brand new sweater that I really, really love. I don't know how I'm going to get this off. Very carefully. So for me, what do I think? What do I think? I think it feels a lot like the Shiseido. I think the color is better in that it's truly neutral. I love that. I think it's a little light for me, and I think that their online descriptions are horrible. What else is new? But just because it's not new doesn't mean it shouldn't be improved. It should be. If you want a lot of coverage, you're putting a lot on, and it feels a little bit greasy. Not that it bothers me. If you want little coverage, you saw when I first put it on, it looks quite lovely with a little coverage. It probably doesn't pick up any more than this does. It's just I didn't have a mistake going on while I was putting all this on, and it didn't avail itself to me as having that problem. I think if you are on a budget, you might want to do this one. For me, it's, first of all, it's the wrong color. Second of all, I have these other two. And third of all, I do prefer more coverage that I get from this straight out, where with this, I had to build it. So, you know, I have a lot of foundations that are not full coverage, but once in a while, I want something that is. And it shouldn't take me more time to get there. This one would take you more time to get there. But if you're somebody, you don't care if you have something that's more full coverage, something that's less full coverage, and you're willing to build and all that stuff, this is not bad product at all, especially if you are dry. So, you know, I can't recommend or unrecommend. I'm just giving you the facts, my experience, and up to you to decide what you're going to do with it. And there it is. Another foundation. And I think I'm going to get another one too. So I'm doing a lot of foundations lately because there's nothing else coming out. And that's it. I hope it was helpful to you, and I hope you come back again. Until we meet again, be safe and smart, and I'm wishing you good health.